I'm J. Lenore Bressler, and welcome to the October 15, 2018 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. We are in a multi-session series on the letter by Paul to the Galatians. We're in chapter 5. Chapter 5 of Galatians is one of several places in the New Testament where the fruits of the Spirit are discussed. They're listed and talked about. And the fruits of the Spirit are the outpouring of people's salvation. It's not that these things you do in order to be saved, but when you are saved, according to the Bible, these are the things that should characterize your life. We're going to be getting to those, but interestingly, before we have that list, Paul indicates what the contrast is, and that is what's called the ways of the flesh, also known as the ways of the world. Now, as we've talked about many times on this program, the Greek language is much more robust than the English one, and so they have words that are better crystallizations of what the terms really mean. So I want to go over with you what the Greek translation really is, according to commentaries, of some words that you may think you know. So let's talk about what is listed starting in verse 19 of chapter 5 of Galatians, the works of the flesh. Sensual morality. This is actual sexual misconduct. Moral impurity. This is lewd or foul behavior. This could be anything that has to do with perhaps raunchy jokes or just bad, vile behavior. It does have the connotation of a sexual kind of connotation. Promiscuity. Now, promiscuity doesn't just mean actually having indiscriminate sex with people, but in the Greek, it has to do with flagrant, inappropriate sexuality. So I explained to my class, my Sunday school class, that, it's one thing to want people to think you're cute. It's another thing to want people to think about sex when they think of you. And that would be the distinction there. Idolatry. Idolatry is any inappropriate concern and faith in material things. If you put your faith and trust in anything or anyone other than God Himself, that is a form of idolatry. Sorcery. Sorcery actually, interestingly, it does have to do with witchcraft or trying to alter your state. But in the ancient world, that often had to do with the use of and misuse of drugs, pharmaceuticals. In fact, the word pharmacy comes from the Greek word that is here being translated as sorcery. So, and if you think about it, what is witchcraft but trying to change or alter the natural state of things? Hatreds. Anytime you view other people as enemies, if that is your natural way of viewing people, that is not good. Strife, that is having a contentious or fighting attitude. If you enjoy fighting, if you get your excitement from that, just from disagreeing, and you like to mix things up, just throw a hand grenade in there and let's see what happens. That would be considered strife. Jealousy is wanting something that someone else has. Outbursts of anger. Now, interestingly, my son and I have very short fuses. And so, but we often say to each other, but at least, we get over it really quick. So we can be screaming at each other and 5 minutes later, oh, I love you, you're the best. And there's no hypocrisy there. It's just that we flare up, but we cool down equally as quickly. We've always thought that was a good thing. But actually it's not, because that is exactly what is being discussed here, where you flare up and you calm down very quickly. And when you stop to think about it, that isn't good, because if you can calm down that quickly, then it probably wasn't very important and very worthy of all that upset to begin with. Selfish ambition is trying to attain power by underhanded methods. Dissensions, that's standing apart, feeling that you're better or different than other people. That's the opposite of unification. Now, that's a little bit different from factions. Factions are literally where you separate people on the basis of chosen opinions. And I ask you, how many times have you perhaps broken unity with someone, whether that was a fellow Christian or maybe it was over politics or something else, because of an opinion that someone has chosen? Is the difference really significant? That is the question. Envy is begrudging other people good things, even if you cannot benefit. Drunkenness, it has to do with any kind of excessive consumption of any natural element. So it's not just about drinking, but the connotation in the Greek is anytime there's an excessive consumption of something. Carousing is unrestrained, immoderate revelry. Sometimes we do take things too far. You can take a good thing too far. And then Paul says, and anything similar, to let us know that the ways of the world and the ways of the flesh, this is not an exclusive list. And then he says, those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. When he says those who practice such things, in the Greek, it means a perpetual, permanent way of life. It's a habit. It is an intentional way of acting, not something that you slip into. And so I ask you and me, are our lives characterized by any of these things? Let us hope not. Join me tomorrow as we look at the fruits of the Spirit on the Bible. Delight in the details. I'm J. Lenore Bressler. Have a great day.